This is a HeadGum podcast. You got mail.
I'm Millie Tamaris.
And I'm Elise Morales.
And this is Go Touch Grass, the podcast where we log in
so you can log off.
Elise and I are two chronically online comedians, and on this pod, we break down the week in internet discourse, viral memes, TikTok trends, and niche influencer drama so that you don't have to.
And if you like what you hear today and you want to hear more, we've already got a Go Touch Grass Patreon up and running with all of our test episodes, mini trending topics, a weekly newsletter, and our spin-off series, Search History, where we go back and break down a viral discourse from the past.
And please don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We need it so bad.
Oh my God.
We're going to do a Road to 100 campaign very, very soon.
Yes, we will be announcing our Road to 100 reviews
on both Spotify and Apple Music. Right now, we're almost at 60 for both.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get the last 40 Road to 100. Watch this space. Starting next week, we'll start plugging
the Road to 100.
The Road to 100. Once we get 100 reviews, we're going to do something special for y'all.
It's very, very exciting. And you know what else is very exciting?
What, Elise? Tell us.
Today's guest, because, guys, we have with us in the studio a true pro. He's a journalist, content creator, and host of TikTok radio show on Sirius XM. It's Lamar Dawson.
Woo, that's me.
That's
wow.
We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. I love this studio. I'm obsessed.
Great.
Yes.
We are thrilled to have you here at HeadGum HQ, NYC.
Mm.
There
Yes.
is a HeadGum HQ,
LA. We'll get there.
And there's a picture of us outside.
There's a picture of us hasn't been painted over yet.
But Lamar, we're going to start off.
Okay.
Opening question.
Okay.
As someone who makes a living interviewing people, how does it feel to be being interviewed yourself?
You know, it feels pretty good because I know what it's like to be on both sides of the coin now. So I know how to answer the questions in a way that you need to get it. Like, I just get it. Like, I know where you're going with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it helps me be a better interviewee, being an interviewer.
Yeah, so you're not going to give us a long rambling.
Exactly. You know, I know where you got to edit that part here, cut off here. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, another question we got for you is you're doing all kinds of content, right? You're giving us red carpet. You're a content machine.
I try.
You host a radio show. I don't know if you want to talk about how you run international hair company kind of brand. We can talk about that, but
let's go there.
What kind of content do you most enjoy? And then also another question is a content creator, because again, you also have your own TikTok following,
right?
Influencer. Do you think in content? Like, do you process?
Oh
things
my God,
and
yes.
them like that?
And it's almost like a curse because I can't do anything without thinking of how can this be content.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even enjoy things. I'm like, oh, can I turn this into content?
Yeah.
Should I go to this thing? Can I capture content there?
Yeah.
And it's my deciding factor, my deciding point a lot of times. So it's kind of like, yeah.
Cream. Content rules everything.
Oh my
around.
God, I love it. I love it. But
my friend Tiara said that before. Yeah.
I love that. It's so true though. But I also, in terms of content I enjoy, you're asking, like, I love music. I make mostly content around nostalgia, pop culture from the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
I love the songs. What is the top 5 songs from the 90s that you forgot about or something?
Yeah. People love that. I think, as a millennial, we love living kind of for the nostalgia and for, the throwback. So I really like that a lot. But then I don't consume a lot of content that's like me. So I watch a lot of comedy skits. I watch a lot of cooking videos.
Okay.
I love cooking videos. I got an air fryer during the pandemic like everybody else.
Yeah, of course.
So now I'm trying to find new things to make other than chicken and vegetables in there.
Yeah, well, air fryer chicken wings are just
they're so bomb though.
Yeah.
True.
You're talking about cooking things that are different from me. I love a good redneck woman who's cooking something crazy for her family of 10 and shit. I was just telling just some crazy recipe that I would never do by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm just I do want to see how you make chili dog pasta for the Super Bowl.
Have you seen that lady? There's a woman on TikTok. Her handle escapes me, but it's her, and she always stitches basically recipes like that, like a crazy, like
Everybody's so
someone putting-
creative.
And
Yeah.
everybody's so creative.
Exactly.
Sometimes they add. I hate when there's like the stitch and it's like you're not adding anything. You're just
anything.
watching somebody else.
But I do like everybody's so creative.
She's funny because she
Everyone's so
does
creative.
funny commentary
Yeah.
along the
Everyone's
way.
so creative is good. It's like the outlier. So you have a hot take about stitches, okay? Any other hot content takes before we get started?
This is so random,
No, say
but
it.
I am so tired of people making content and their smoke detector is beeping in the background. I am concerned about your hearing. I'm concerned about your safety. I don't understand how, one, you live in this home. You hear it. Okay, you recorded content. You watched it back. You don't hear that? Like, fix it. Fix it.
That is crazy.
That's so funny.
That-
I hear it all the time.
It's like it's like it's the second level to when someone sends a selfie and the mirror is dirty.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
mirror is dirty and it's like you need to address that first.
Please.
I just remember one time I was talking to this guy and he sent me a selfie of him in bed and he's like thinking of you and he's in bed and the pillow was so dirty.
No, no,
was yellow,
not a
it was
nasty
stained.
pillow.
It was
No.
like, bro, you need to address that.
Yeah,
No.
please.
You need to and speaking of content, strip it in OxyClean for a few
Yeah, I'm sorry. That just really sent a chill down my spine to
Yeah.
see a dirty, nasty pillow
with
in
no
a
pillowcase.
sexy,
With no pillowcase.
Yikes.
a
Straight man.
loose, a
Straight man.
loose,
Well, duh, he's
naked
straight.
pillow.
Yeah. A loose naked
Ugh.
pillow.
Ugh.
Thinking of you, and I'm like, you need to think about.
Yeah, you need to
this."
think
But
about getting your
low-key,
laundry done.
That'd be some of the hottest sex ever.
I know,
A man with a mattress on the floor
Oh my
and nothing
God.
else. He's gonna give it to you.
You know what?
Oh my God.
This is what I'm saying though. So I've been friends with Lamar. Every time I would post this crazy, like for years, I've known Lamar for a long time. Every time I would post like screenshots of crazy Tinder profiles, Lamar's like, yeah, but he's hot.
You know what I will say? When I met my husband, he didn't even have a mattress on the ground. He had a futon, like
Don't say
the
this
top of a
out loud,
futon
Elise.
Oh
couch.
my God.
Please
That
don't
was
clip
on the
it. Like,
ground.
at least
Oh my
do not.
God,
You
please.
don't have to come out.
That was on the
with
ground. Listen, I let
Not
us
a
have the
futon.
month of crazy futon on the ground times, and then I said we are gonna have to get you a bed frame.
Yes, please.
And he did get one.
Okay,
Well,
And now
girl,
we're
a
married.
futon.
Okay, look at that.
I know it
He
was
was
a
older
futon
than
on
you
there.
too.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
Oh.
like this is an L.
It was not good. It was it did need to be addressed, and it was addressed, and we did get him. We said we're raising the bed off of the ground, and we're actually gonna get a mattress.
There you go.
We're gonna get a real mattress. We're gonna raise it up off the ground, and you're just gonna see what this life is like. And then he said,
Wow.
"I want to be married."
Wow.
See, started from the bottom. Now you're there. Look at
Wow.
Exactly.
And now, guess what? Our mattress company. I love Helix. I'm kidding, no. Please sponsor us. Okay, let's get into the discourse.
I can't
y'all.
wait.
I'm so excited, guys. Today, our discourse is about corporate Natalie and corporate bro. So, this is so dark and crazy for me because usually when people are content creators, they're like, oh, I'm a gymnast, or oh, I cook, or oh, I'm a comedian. But to have content about work, I just like had to deep dive into like funny content just about working, but not like okay, being a teacher, being a chef, but I'm like just corporate jobs in
It's
general.
about being in corporate America.
Being corporate America. So weird to me.
And corporate Natalie and corporate bro are different than corporate Aaron, who is a character that is very funny.
Well, corporate Natalie makes content about work. She has about 835,000 followers on Instagram, 651 followers on TikTok, and 50,000 followers on LinkedIn, which is interesting because there's a trend coming that we're going to talk about where now that millennials are getting older, their LinkedIn is trying to rebrand itself as a cool content platform, which I would love to hear your opinion.
I struggle with the move toward LinkedIn becoming a social media site.
Yeah,
Right.
because you want to get a fucking job. And now it's like, here's an essay about what I think about working from home. I'm just like,
Well, that's what I love about all the content creators who are posting about all the stupid stuff in corporate life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure we'll get there in a second, but I do like the content niche of making fun of corporate America and like the LinkedIn post. Congratulations, Sarah. They're lucky to have you. Like,
Yeah.
the funny stories about the interview, and I was walking to the interview and I stopped and pet the dog, and the dog was the manager's dog. And all
and
this
it taught
nonsense.
me about how
all this
I started
nonsense.
It's such a brand of thing, but then what people, and it is ripe for satire. Like, it's not like
Yes.
it's not ripe for comedy. Like,
Yes.
comedy
Corporate
about the
Aaron.
workplace. Well, but exactly. But there are people who are doing like earnest. It's weird because it's like earnest talking about these personalities. So Natalie says that her content is for people looking for tips on navigating through the corporate world and or making career changes, and specifically for postgrads looking for guidance on their next steps in the real world and advice on how to optimize their experience. Again, so it's not making fun of corporate stuff. It's very like pro corporate I don't know. And then Ross Corporate Bro Pomerantz has 480,000 followers on Instagram, 31,000 followers on YouTube. He made like a YouTube series about like a fake startup or something, but again, it's just like about the characters. I don't know. And then he has 100,000 followers on LinkedIn, and the New York Times called him a cubicle comedian. How do you feel about that?
You know, I have some thoughts on a few things. One, it seems to be that on the one hand, it's kind of funny seeing how these reputable outlets are covering TikTok personalities as actual celebrities. You know, it's funny 'cause obviously I work for TikTok radio, and this is my job to like, it is a viable channel and yada, yada, yada. But it also feels strange that certain creators are getting all this hype. Like there's one creator, his name escapes me, but he had a whole Vulture profile about the characters he created. And it feels like, how are you making everyone famous? Like everyone is getting their 15 minutes from a bit of everything.
Exactly. Everyone's getting their 15 minutes. And also, who's getting the coverage? It's not the people
I didn't want
that
to go there.
Well, we're going there because
okay.
this is Go Touch Grass. And we're getting there, and it's always white people and white men who are getting the coverage. And again, what are they saying? You know, because, okay, it's different if you are a comedian who's trying to make your thing and you also have to work a day job and you're making stuff. But these are like people who like are influencers it's just weird. Like their thing is to be a corporate influencer. It's not like anything. So anyway, we're going to get into specifically the drama and why we're talking about this. So recently they started the Demoted podcast, and they describe the Demoted podcast. They say, tune in every week to witness Corporate Bro and Corporate Natalie unpack the current state of the workplace. You'll get a whole lot of unsolicited advice, heated debates over office etiquette, hilarious role plays, crazy workplace stories submitted by listeners, and more. So why are we talking about them today? They recently got into an insane scandal. And before we get into what the scandal is, I must let you know that there's only 3 episodes of this podcast. So the first 2 and the third one is talking about how they got canceled for the first episode. So
That's, that makes
So
me feel
funny.
better about our run. We have not had to make a let's address the controversy.
we didn't have to have a whole episode about saying how we were canceled from the first episode.
We are addressing the controversy now.
We're addressing the controversy. Let's talk about their scandal. So one of their first videos for the Demoted podcast, right, has now been taken down. It was titled something like Millennial Boss and Gen Z Employee, or something like Gen Z Employee. It's about a Gen Z employee who was asked to come to an 8 a.m. work meeting, and it's like implied that it's a 9 to 5, but they want to miss the 8 a.m. work meeting because they booked a non-refundable 8 a.m. workout class. So both Natalie and Corporate Bro were freaking out, and they're like, that's bullshit. That's not our fucking problem. And this is a quote. This is from Natalie. You just started this job. I don't give a flying shit about your workout class. Also, 8 a.m. workout class is too late. Workout at 6, maybe 7 a.m. And then Corporate Bro said, to monopolize your calendar for things I would consider to be personal time, that's going to be a no for me, dog. You're going to have to give up some things. And then Corporate Natalie said, you're really not allowed to do that when you're first starting out the career. as someone who's underemployed, had a million jobs, all this stuff. Everything outside of work is an appointment. You don't have to say it's a workout class.
Yeah.
Don't be too honest, Gen Z. Because that's kind of the thing. It's like, if you're saying workout class, of course they're going to say some shit.
Right.
But if you're like, I have an appointment, they don't gotta know.
Yeah,
Fair.
that was kind of my immediate reaction is like, oh, you fucked up by saying what it actually was.
Yeah.
Go
Right.
do the workout class. If you are scheduled from 9 to 5 and they're trying to put you on an 8 a.m. meeting that you weren't previously like aware of and that shouldn't have been in your schedule, say, oh, doctor's appointment,
Yeah,
whatever.
appointment. Yeah,
Right.
I got an appointment I
Appointment.
can't reschedule.
Yeah, it's not whatever. It's an appointment. I've been waiting for it. It's always just appointment.
It's
Totally.
appointment. Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think that where this person went wrong was to say that it
The
was
workout
a workout
class.
class. That is a little bit like, yeah, they're not gonna. They're not. The boss isn't gonna like that.
Let that
So
fly.
what?
I was going to say, I understand the spirit of this conversation where it's like, I'm paid from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Those are my working hours. So
Yeah.
anything I'm doing, even if it is a workout class, I should be able to tell you that. And this is, I'm not on the clock until 9 to 5.
Yeah.
My only thinking with this is that if you've worked a corporate job, you know there are those times when you leave a bit early for those appointments. You take a bit longer on the lunch
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be. It all comes out in the wash. So go to the 8 a.m. meeting.
Yeah.
Because from time to time, you're going to bounce to pick up the kid early,
Yeah,
to pick
exactly.
up whatever, to go to the concert early, whatever the case may be. So I feel like it comes out in the wash.
Yeah, I would say yes. Like, you gotta sometimes charge it to the game.
Yes.
I would say I've had some jobs where, like, if I came late or what, like, they were so nickel and dimey about, like, me, like, if I came late or if I worked whatever, they were like, you have to stay an extra 30 minutes or 10 minutes or
gosh.
something. But then if I stayed late, that didn't count for me to come
Yeah.
late.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I
No,
mean?
of course.
It's always coming in their favor. So that's
Right.
like kind of the little nickel. But for the most part, most jobs or whatever. But yeah, like, so.
It depends on the I think it depends on the corporate environment, right? Like if it's a job like what you're talking about, and they ask you to come in at 8 and you're not scheduled for 8.
Fuck
No,
you. Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah,
no,
no.
absolutely not, because
Yeah.
you're not cool.
Right.
But if it's a job where, like, normally the schedule is pretty fluid, they've been good
Right.
about hybrid remote. There's a reason why this one meeting is at 8.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, you're talking to someone overseas. Like,
Exactly.
Right.
at the end of the day, like, I am all for the Gen Z attitude of, like, you don't owe your boss your fucking blood, sweat, and tears in every single second of your free time in your life. But also, like, working at a business, sometimes as long as everyone's respecting each other,
Totally.
sometimes maybe you come in a little early because something requires it, as long as it's not happening all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know you're gonna lose out on one like it's you got so it's
a bit of give
case
and
by
take.
case,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we're all kind of pro worker on
Yeah.
this, right? So there's this response to this video.
When asked to come in for an 8 a.m. meeting, my Gen Z new hire said, ugh, sorry, I can't make it. I have a workout class. Should this be allowed?
My visceral reaction was, are you fucking kidding me?
No, fully, like angered, typing this out. I was like, please.
Like my hand's shaking and it's not from the caffeine.
You just started this job. I don't give a flying shit about your workout class. Also, an 8 a.m. workout class is too late. Workout at 6, maybe 7.
Hi, yeah, Natalie. So we can talk about this more later, but I'm going to address this now. It was made very clear during the interview process that the working hours for this position is between 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I am on Eastern time. I made that very clear with HR because I have commitments outside of work. I go to the gym, I work out because I care about my health. Sure, I can make a sacrifice to go to an 8 a.m. meeting had I known at least a week before that I needed to go at 8 a.m., not a day before. Also, my workout class starts at 7:30, not at 8, but I didn't know that I needed to tell you that. Okay, let's just say I skipped the gym. 2 things. When can I expect you to reimburse me for my class? And 2, are you going to be paying me from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., or at the very least, let me leave at 4 p.m.? Natalie, if your answer to both of those are no, then there's no discussion needed. I will see you at 9 o'clock today. Also, I sent an email to HR about this and sent them the link to that TikTok video. So, just to make things clear.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, so
Yikes.
that video got 4.2 million likes.
Oop.
Wow.
Likes.
Not even views.
Wow.
Likes.
Views.
Likes.
So views is a lot more, and it quickly became a really hot discussion about, you know, everything that we just talked
Totally.
about like reinforcing boundaries, like not letting jobs, and it came down hard on Natalie.
You know, I think all this kind of goes back to the whole quiet quitting revolution that came up during 2020.
Yeah.
And it really flipped corporate life on its head. And because I think the pandemic really helped us realize what matters most in our family and things like that. And that seems to have gone out the window. We're back to work, back to money, back to the grind. We almost forgot everything we were hoping to learn and gain from the lockdown era. And I do think it's brought in this new crop of Gen Z folks, but also younger millennials as well, saying, you know what, you're right. You don't deserve my blood, sweat, and tears every 5 seconds of my 9 to 5. I still feel like work ethic goes a long way.
Yeah.
Putting your best foot forward goes a long way. And again, if this is a corporate job, which means you're likely salaried, I suppose, again, there are times you're going to leave around 4 to get to that appointment. There's going to be times when you're going to leave around 3 to pick up your kid or whatever the case may be. To me, it comes down in the wash. And if it's not an always on thing all the time, it's always 8 to 5, then from time to time, if it's a quarterly meeting, 8 o'clock in the morning so the whole country can participate, it's one time a quarter. Figure it out. Take an extra lunch. I don't know. Keep it to yourself.
Wow. Elise, you have something?
My biggest thought is just it is reminding me of this conversation that I saw kind of related that was popping up on Threads, which I think has a very LinkedIn energy going on
does.
Threads.
Yeah.
That's very accurate way to describe it.
And that people were talking about cover letters and asking people to write cover letters, and it was this hugely heated topic about well, if you want to show that you want this job, you should write the cover letter, and then other people being like, I don't want to write fan fiction about working for your company. I can't remember who said that, but that's a very accurate description of what a cover letter
I
is.
get AI to write the cover letters because I cannot be because really you have to apply to 100 jobs.
Yeah, I'm
to get one email back maybe.
I want the job because it's a job, and I'm looking for a job
and
right
if
now.
you look at my resume, and if you have questions, let's set up a pre-screen. But dog, don't play me.
Yeah.
Okay. These are great points. Lamar, you hit on a lot of good points. So
Thank you.
Natalie had to apologize. So if the video that got backlash had 4 million likes, you can already imagine what the original video had that was stitched and everything. Natalie had to apologize. She put in an apology video. She took responsibility. She gets it. She made the clarification that if you're salaried, that doesn't apply. But also she wanted to clarify, one, I don't know the guy in this video. He does not work with me.
What?
And 2, I was reading this thing. What I was responding to was a listener letter that someone sent me. And the listener letter specifically said, "Hi, Demoted Pod. I need to rant. I have a Gen Z new hire. When asked to come in for an 8 a.m. meeting, my Gen Z new hire said, ugh, sorry, I can't make it. I have a workout class. Here's some additional info on our meeting / this meeting. 1, we have one 8 a.m. meeting quarterly. 2,
See?
we tell every new hire about this meeting when they sign. 3, these meetings are to include our international team members in Europe and India.
See?
Wow.
I can't handle this shit. So, yeah.
Exactly.
And that's you do have to go to the meeting, and you should have canceled your workout class. I'm sorry, but these are reasonable expectations of the job. This is not an evil boss who just is nickel and diming you and being horrible. If you're hired and they're once a month we meet at 8 a.m.
Quarterly is once
a quarter.
months.
Yeah.
See, I knew it because I know how this is going to go down. See, I knew it.
Yeah, because you have experience
Right.
and you've been in the world.
So just to be clear, this guy did not work for corporate Natalie.
Exactly.
At all.
That is crazy.
No, listen to this. This is the next part. The guy who made the video that we heard said, guys, it was a skit. That's not a real video. It's a skit.
Wow.
He does comedic skits, and it's supposed to be a joke where he puts himself in the position of somebody who this and that. And he said he still stands by everything he said, but that he wants everyone to know it's a skit. Now, my question to you is, what is a skit?
This is pissing me
Yeah,
off.
I know.
This
I'm
is pissing me
getting
off.
to the core of something that has been bothering me.
Oh my God.
Is
What's
that
a joke and what's a skit?
people think that just posting a video that is them lying with no comedic overtone to it
Right.
is a skit and it's fucking not. If you are just to camera fully earnestly saying this stuff, if he was saying like, if he was literally doing a Gen Z character and there was comedic elements to it,
Right.
it would be very different. But you just truly came on and pretended to be this woman's employee.
Wow.
Acted like she was a bad employer to you. And that there's nothing funny about it to make it a skit.
No, not at all. My mouth is on the floor. I can barely find the words.
skit.
I am shocked. I am shocked right now. I agree with everything you just said. That is blowing my mind. When you have a joke like Corporate Aaron, it's very clear. This is a joke. The company I work for is fake, and it's clear to the listener and the viewer that this is a fake, made-up company position, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. She's doing a bit. That was not a bit.
But yeah, you need the comedic element. I think the thing that was needed was you can have that same ethos
Yes.
of perhaps saying like, my life doesn't belong to this company, but do it, you know, the point of a comedy sketch is they do it so ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're right. I will miss, you know, my kid's graduation and my daughter's wedding for this
Right.
quarterly meeting that I so have to go to that I'm not going to say anything. You know, you exaggerate it to show how ridiculous the request is
Yes.
anyway.
There has to be that wink or that something like, keep talking about Corporate Aaron, but Corporate Aaron's thing is she says she's the manager for management
McManagement,
It's
right.
like you
Yes.
that's a tell.
It tells you
that
right
this
away.
Is not a real
Yes.
person.
But
And
she's making fun of specifically the middle managers and all that. So you know who she's making fun of.
exactly. And there actually she's done content with another creator who does like a Gen Z character, and they'll do like a back and forth, and the Gen Z character is
DeAndre.
always like, yes. And the Gen Z guy is always like, well, it's actually 5:00 right now, so I'm immediately logging off. Like and is doing basically the character that this guy was pretending to do, but you can tell it's a character because he is being funny.
Yes.
And he is making jokes, and there
And
is
it's an exaggerated.
yeah, there's an over-the-top element. This guy literally just put this woman on blast, and she wasn't his boss.
I am
Exactly.
still shocked.
Yes.
Like, I am shaking right now. Like, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
So we'll get to the final segment.
There's more?
Just a little
okay,
bit more.
okay.
And then we'll wrap this up. But I do want to show the Demoted podcast replied to this.
If you didn't hear, we got canceled.
We posted a clip of our podcast on TikTok that changed our lives, and not for the better.
Another creator created what they call a stitch.
And it cuts to a man neither of us have ever seen in our entire lives.
Right, yeah, Natalie. So we can talk about this more later, but I'm gonna address this now.
Hang on. Who are you? You're addressing me by name.
He does add details about how he didn't know about this meeting until the day before, requesting that Natalie reimburse him for his class. And then he asks if Natalie's going to pay him for, the hour of 8 to 9.
I need to reiterate, I do not know this person, and they are claiming not only that they're my employee, but that I'm actively mistreating them.
Nearly 50,000 comments. Many of those comments are demanding that Natalie, as this guy's boss, apologize to him. By Thursday evening, we're getting comments on our personal channels about us and how terrible we are. Everything was being flooded with threats and hate. You got absolutely torched. It was very dark.
It's still been dark, honestly. We had all the context in our head. They don't know that this is a listener submitted story that I'm reading off my paper. We didn't give any of that context
none
in the
of that.
social clip. So what do? I take to TikTok and I make an apology.
Classic old school YouTube apology.
And it sucked. This person hijacked my brand, was running with it, was dragging my name across TikTok. And I didn't even mention, hey guys, this person is not affiliated with me at all. We see a second video come up on this creator's page.
The past 24 hours have been crazy, and I just want to clear some things up. That video that I made was my genuine reaction to the situation in the form of a skit.
Can I stop you there? So it's a skit.
Thank God it's just a skit.
Okay.
See, me and the other 32 million people didn't think it was. One of the things that was troubling about this, I guess I would say, is that he continued to comment on the original video, pretending to play along as if he were the employee, stoking more rage.
Obviously, this TikTok hysteria didn't come from nothing. We are not innocent. Horrible editing on that social clip.
Just a brutal edit job.
Our fault. We posted it.
Yeah.
We've edited it.
When you put things on social media, they can spread outside of the context of who we are. What happened to us could happen to anyone. Now, I do want to be clear, buried in this is that he did have a really good message that both of us do agree with.
It's not shocking why everyone's so upset. The issues that they're bringing up are valid, and people are feeling this way in their workplaces.
There is a discussion that needs to be had, and I hope we can have them here.
And I speak for both of us when I say, remember to add empathy into the conversation. And while it's really hard for us to say, I think at this point, Ross and I even have empathy for the person who made this video about us.
What a wild ride.
I feel justice for corporate Natalie and corporate bro a little bit. I do feel like I think they're still kind of raking themselves over the coals in a way that I don't necessarily feel like they need to. About the editing of the clip, maybe they could have been more clear that they were reading a listener letter, but it's also that feels very hindsight is 2020. Like I feel like you would never imagine, oh, we're going to read this listener letter and someone's going to stitch and pretend to be my personal employee and it's going to get 32 million views, and then also like this person is going to continue it on, and then that she felt like her apology wasn't good enough. It's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like the thing people are mad at you specifically for isn't even a real thing that happened.
At the end of the day, they're like, we need you to approach empathy. The video says Gen Z employee, and it's them saying, we don't give a fuck about your workout. And like, that was like the ethos. They wanted this like funny clip of them being like, I don't give a fuck, like whatever. And off rip, like that's just going to be not taken well. Because they're capitalizing on the Gen Z versus millennial wars.
Yes.
And being like, you're a little Gen Z person. I'm just like, you guys make pro-worker, like pro-employer content. Like, and now you're trying to get a bigger audience. And that the mood and the temperature right now is not pro-employer, babe. Also, I will say this. Now we're getting nuanced. You see how it was all against Natalie? And not the guy, and not corporate bro, which that name is even worse than like the idea of bro and corporate is like ugh.
But the guy in the initial video chose to address Natalie.
So and Natalie got all the hate. I don't think Natalie deserved it more than corporate bro did, but she got it more.
I still can't believe that. You know, I think it's the one piece I'll latch on to is how Natalie said leading with empathy. But I do feel like people put things out there because they know it's going to help them go viral and gain clout. And they're not being mindful of the consequences of it. This is a little bit off topic, but just bear with me for a second. Like, people treat everything like content now. You got to film everything, post everything. There was this a homeless couple that filmed themselves
in the storage unit.
In the storage unit.
Okay.
And of course they posted it, and now they got kicked out of the storage unit.
Of course.
Stop posting everything. Not everything is content. You know what I mean? And these responses and the backlash. And the reality is, most people remember the one video, but they won't see the third video.
Yeah.
Now her brand can be ruined because they're not going to read everything else. They're going to watch everything else. Most people today in this day and age will just read the headline and the comments and move on. So you have to be very, very mindful of what you're posting and putting out there, number one. And number two, questioning what you're seeing as well. And I feel like there needs to be I was going to say the exact same thing. Exactly. Where is it? Put it in the schools. Put it in the curriculum. Well, you know what I mean? Like, come on already.
Yeah, but it's one thing. It's like media literacy for the viewers, but it's also media literacy for the creators.
Ooh, yes.
And it's like, you have to make a skit. Like, go to comedy school and learn how to, like, make a skit.
You have to put something. Also, like, you can write on your videos. You can say, like, this is a skit.
Totally.
Like, you can do stuff to signal that this is not real. And at a certain point, like, if there's nothing comedic about it and you're just basically lying to camera, like, you are responsible for how people take that. It reminds me of people who do like bad pranks that are just mean. And then they're like, it's a prank. And it's like, no, a prank is like kind of funny.
Yeah.
You hit your wife with a car.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, it's a prank.
Joke. Like, no.
No, it's not a prank.
Yeah, a joke isn't a lie.
Some people truly think that a joke is just saying something false.
Yeah,
and it's like, that's not the
You know, that's one of the biggest challenges with like social media in general. On the one hand, you give everyone a platform, a seat at the table, if you will. 100%. You're such a pro, Millie. I love it. It's so true. 100%. But then when the gates are open, everyone comes in, people who are not qualified and capable and have the skill set to do the work that professionals have been doing, and professionals like who are professional actors, performers, comedians, etc. Like there's a reason why it's a profession, because skill goes into this art. Not everyone can do it just because you have a phone that shoots 4K in your pocket.
Exactly.
And people, something I think about is like people are receiving the like a piece of content that goes viral to the point where like millions of people are watching it. Those people are all receiving that content in different ways. Some of them are on the toilet, half paying attention. Some of them are on their commute, whatever. And it's so like id-based, your immediate reaction. I always think about years ago, there was this Funny or Die video that was like parody of, you know how BuzzFeed used to do those videos that are like, we gave drunk people puppies, and then you film them. This was a video that was called it was for 4th of July. And it was called We Gave Drunk People the Constitution. And it was a bunch of comedians that we knew from New York pretending to be drunk and receiving the Constitution. It was a parody video. 90% of the comments were people going, that's not the real Constitution. I don't think that's the Constitution. This is fake. That it's like these people didn't understand that they were receiving a parody sketch. Like, like some people just...
Earnest.
Yeah, they just hit it and they're like, oh, it's real. And it's like they're not even taking a second to think about like, oh, this is from Funny or Die.
Right.
Yeah.
What is this? Does it make sense
Some people
for
are just
Funny or Die to have
stupid.
access to the real Constitution? How would they get it?
Exactly.
But guess what? Those people now are making videos.
I know. And then
then
they're saying it's a
that
skit.
it's parody.
People can be so dumb. One of the hardest parts about being a content creator is dealing with stupid comments. So I make videos around pop culture, and I'll do videos like, here are the biggest songs from 1995 or whatever. And for the most part, people go, oh, that seems right. This guy's a music journalist. This seems accurate. I'm sure he did his
Literally
research.
music journalist.
Literally.
I think the last time I saw you in person was at the VMAs.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
doing
what
the
I
red
do.
carpet.
All right. But then here's the thing. Sometimes a song will make this list that maybe was released in 1994, but maybe came out in November 1994, which means it was a big hit in 1995.
Yeah.
That song's from 1994. I looked it up. I'm like, but like, did you notice that it came out December 13th, 1994?
Yeah.
So therefore, it was a hit the following year.
Yeah.
You know, people are dumb.
Glad we all came to a consensus about Corporate Natalie, Corporate Bro, and the Skit Maker. Next, we're going to talk about cursed content. And it's a segment on the show where we share a piece of content that shows how deeply cursed we are as a world. And this one is a little different because it starts wholesome, ends up cursed, and maybe gets a little better. But on September, right around when Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce started dating, TikToker Sharon Mbazi posted a video of her doing her own makeup, and her stepdad comes in the bathroom and he starts reading Travis Kelce's stats. Like, well, now Travis Kelce's, just trying to get her into football, and like his jersey's selling out and this and that. And very cute, like this dad. And the video got almost 3 million views, and it sparked a really cute series where Sharon, who is a beautiful dark-skinned black woman, she would do skincare, and then her dad, who's a white man, her stepdad, her stepdad would come and join her, and they would talk about football, and they would do skincare together and eye mask and all this stuff. Wholesome stuff. Well, on Friday, skincare brand Cetaphil dropped a regional Super Bowl ad about a real father-daughter bonding over football after Travis Kelce and basically the whole segment, they ripped it off this girl's TikTok.
They stole it from her
TikTok. They stole it. And so...
Wow.
Exactly.
Cetaphil.
Cursed.
That's Cetaphil.
And this girl came out and made this video.
Y'all, Cetaphil legit copied the TikToks I made with my stepdad back in September. Like, y'all could have at least given us some credit. What's up? It's the fact that they have a mixed race girl in the video and a white dad. I'm a black girl. My stepdad is white. Okay. And in the video, she's doing her makeup, her skincare on her vanity, and her white dad walks in. I was doing my makeup on my vanity, and my white dad walks in and tells me about football. For a second, I thought, okay, maybe it's a coincidence, until I saw the dad walk into her room and put skincare under his eyes, like what my stepdad and I did in our video, and he put eye patches under his eyes when he walked into my room. Like, literally, bar for bar, it's the same concept, same idea.
So, to me, it's cursed because... it's taking something very wholesome from someone's life, but also recasting this dark-skinned black girl with a mixed race girl and making her white dad who looks exactly like her stepdad.
Wow.
So, cursed content. What do you think?
That is extremely cursed, and I think it portends something even more cursed because it shows you that like this stuff that we all put out online, we don't actually own it in the same way of like other intellectual property. And so a brand can do that. I've seen other things where brands have just like pulled people's TikTok videos and put them in a commercial and pulled like one. I remember I was seeing one where a creator was reviewing a pair of jeans and she had said like she really liked the jeans but they were a little loose in the back and the brand just cut it. I think it was Good American. I think it was Good American. Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, and they cut it without her permission.
They cut it without her permission, cut the part where she said anything negative, throw it up on their socials, and it's just like, as of right now, they have carte blanche to do that kind of stuff. Like, I wonder what kind of recourse she would have to be like, Cetaphil
do you have the
stole this
receipts?
from.
I do, but I want to hear your thoughts first. As someone who, again, you do make content for a brand, too.
Totally.
That I've been on.
Yeah, that's correct. That is true. That is true.
I've been a hair model.
You know, I just feel like, you know, we'll say allegedly, if Cetaphil did allegedly rip off this video, what have you. But I just feel like if they can afford to run a spot during the Super Bowl, they can afford to cut this woman a check and go, hey, listen, we were inspired by your creative concept here. We're going to put you on as creative director. It's a bigger story.
Yeah.
If anything, putting this black creator on as creative director for Cetaphil and like paying her money and then putting her on this way, it's a bigger story. It's a better story. And it goes along with the whole heartfelt brand love they're trying to capitalize on in the first place.
Yeah, it's very weird to do a fake version of something that really happened that they could have just worked
cast
with the
them.
actual people.
Because we didn't know those people in the video, in the commercial.
Well, and it's just giving that the marketing agency is full of white people and they don't have a person of color on the team. And that's what it's giving. So this is the statement to Adweek from Cetaphil. The Cetaphil brand developed its Game Time Glow campaign as an original creation without seeing Sharon's TikTok content. A spokesperson told Adweek via email, "We were inspired by a unique trend in which numerous young women and girls have been bonding with their fathers over football and posting about it on their social channels. After speaking with Sharon, we see how she contributed to this trend personally. This campaign was a response to that trend, and we are therefore not surprised the campaign connects with so many." So they're trying to say,
wow.
Not the campaign's connecting.
Yeah, even though she was one of the first people, because again, she was doing this back in September when it was not a lot of people who had been posting this. So then, in a TikTok created on Super Bowl Sunday, Sharon said that Cetaphil had acknowledged all the videos and the content and they made things right, probably cut her a check. And she also told viewers to stay tuned for more, teasing a potential follow-up campaign.
I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed. You know, no, this is different. It's one thing to be inspired by something. I get that. You know what I mean? You're inspired by seeing fathers and daughters creating content together. I get that. But this is different. This is a storyline. This is a creative concept that you used for an ad that's clearly down to the casting of it.
Casting, because if it was a white girl and a white dad or a black girl and a black dad, no.
This is Vanilla Ice going ding, 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 ding. It's not the same. It is the same.
It's the
It is
same.
the same thing.
That is the perfect analogy. Yeah, and also it's like, yeah, there were trends of people and their boyfriends like talking about this is very specific to
doing the skincare
and all of that stuff. They're trying to make it seem like they did like a My Roman Empire video or something, that they were doing something that was such a huge trend. Bunches of people were doing it. I didn't see an enormous amount of trends of women doing skincare with their dads in the bathroom where they're doing skincare and their dad is talking about Travis Kelce. That's not a trend. That is something one girl was doing on her TikTok.
That's a script that you stole.
Cursed.
That is
content.
cursed.
So, Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with Sharon, but
I hope she gets a big bag.
I hope she does too, but I'm still. It just drives me absolute bonkers because here's this black woman who's had her work stolen. Okay, which is tale as old as time.
Well,
she'll get the money and but it's not the point.
Yeah, it's not the point.
Because they could go on to win big awards for this campaign or whatever. Does she get any of that? You know what I mean? No. Some
white guy who it came out. The CEO of the agency that has Cetaphil as a client, his Twitter came out, and of course he's an idiot. I'm just like, he's gonna win, and he's gonna say all this stuff. It's also cursed.
If they had used the original 2 creators, which I don't see why they wouldn't, it's like that would have been such an amazing. You're on the Super Bowl with your stepdad, and everyone sees you. That's such a huge moment that for no reason was taken from them.
They really fumbled the bag. I really think for any brands who are listening, marketing people listening, I really feel like there is no harm in giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger, more well-rounded PR story for you to do exactly just that.
Exactly.
Because you casted 2 unknown actors.
Pro.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is why we got you, Doug.
My
Because you
pleasure.
are a pro. And if any brands or marketers that listen, me and Elise are available.
Yeah, as always, we are available. A brand did actually recently reach out to us.
Oh my God,
they were very excited to work with us.
We were excited.
to work with them. We emailed them back.
The email bounced.
Email bounced. The person had been fired.
We assumed the person had been fired.
I don't know if it was
that
related to them reaching out to us, but I will say that they reached out to us, and when we followed back up, they were no longer with the company.
And that is cursed as well.
And that was a cursed experience that we had trying to make content. A cursed attempt at content.
So help us help us.
All right. This brings us to
our final segment.
Our final segment is Grass Hole of the Week.
Okay.
This is a person who needs to touch grass the most. This person must log off. This person must go outside. This person must speak IRL to someone in their network and in their community.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is a loving go touch grass. Most recently, it's all been negative, and I will say that this one again is gonna be pretty negative. I am talking about Liana, the mean girl. Has she come? Okay.
The bullying. She's like pro-bullying.
Yes. Yeah. Millie's immediately like, this is gonna be fucked up, and it is. Here we go.
Okay.
There was a comment, and it basically said something to the effect of, I'm so glad to see that I'm still the same mean girl that she was in high school. This comment is so silly goose. It made me just start reminiscing about high school. I went to high school over 4 years ago, so it's really been a minute. It's kind of crazy to me that someone, even still cares about it. But I do have a hot take on this. I think bullying is something that has to happen when you're young. And I've always thought this way, and I will probably continue to think this way. If you're someone who's being bullied, you kind of to learn to stick up for yourself or learn to have more confidence in yourself. Bullying in America, or the Mean Girls of America, bruh, it's really not that bad. Y'all ever seen K-dramas? Y'all know what happens in other countries, what bullies are like. American teenagers have gotten so soft these days because of social media. Literally anything offends people and makes people be like, I'm being bullied. I feel like if you are being bullied, it's gonna help you grow up and be a stronger person, have your foot in life because of your experience. Unless you dwell on it for 4 years after high school. If someone's bullying you, they probably have something going on. Honestly, those people probably have some things that they need to work on themselves. Maybe that's all they know. But it's going to teach them too how to treat people. A lot of people that are bullies do end up having higher social growth in life. I feel like there's some psychological backing to this stuff. I mean, I'm not saying go out and be mean to people. It's just something that naturally happens and that kind of has to happen. It's giving evolution theories. It's giving biological things.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll help you grow, she says.
I'm sorry, Doug. It's a no. It's gonna be. I'm sorry.
Demoted
podcast. It's a no for me, Doug.
Yeah. So I'll start out by saying this was not well received.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
On TikTok.
Shocking.
This video was not well received. I don't know how many views it got initially because it is deleted and all of her accounts are private. So I guess bullying isn't as
good for you
productive as she found. I mean, by her own admission, she should get over it and learn and take it. But Her accounts are all private. I mean, that screen recording of the video had like 30,000 likes, but that was just one of a million. It also, a bunch of people start doing skits where they're pretending to be her. And that's how it first got into my FYP, because I watched one of these skits and it was clearly a skit. Because the person was saying very outrageous things, and I was like, okay, this is a parody of something. And then I went back
was it a parody? Because she's already, it's hard to
satirize what was going on here. So I'm going to go through her points.
Okay.
Number one, high school was 4 years ago, so this person should be over it.
Is she over high school? She's talking about it very clearly.
I mean, the first thing I would say is that I know people who've been bullied, and it can stay with you for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what she was doing or saying to people, because sometimes bullying is very physical. Like, it can be very traumatic for people, especially if there's something that you can't change about yourself that someone's mocking, making fun of, teasing in front of a whole school of other, like, people who are not well adjusted just yet. It can be very traumatic, and that can stay with you for 40 years, not just 4 years.
Yeah, I have never forgotten one mean thing anyone's ever said to me. So,
fair.
So 4 years, it's like, I'm definitely gonna remember. Like, I remember, I'm Taylor Swift like in that way. I remember every slight that has ever been slighted upon me.
Yeah. I will say that the entire conceit of Silicon Valley is that all these guys who are in their 40s and 50s didn't get laid in high school, and now it's our fault. And now they are monetizing and demonetizing every platform and making crazy startups and stuff, and that is an effect of high school bullying. So
and 4 years is not
long.
A long.
No.
We voted for Trump Biden 4 years ago.
Yeah, like,
and that's coming
4
around,
years,
and that went by fast. And I will also say that bullying now, like 4 years ago, but even in the past 10 years, that's also cyberbullying.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one thing if like somebody says something mean to you in the cafeteria and you're whatever, but now they make Instagram accounts, they're hitting you. It's different now. You're getting it all the time.
Totally.
Another point she made, bullies are actually evolutionarily necessary, and people who have been bullied need to learn to stand up for themselves. It's giving psychological theories. That's what I love when she goes, it's giving psychological theories.
Shut up. But I'm also like, I kind of see what she's trying to say of like, it's important for you to learn how to stand up to yourself for yourself, but you know, you will learn that anyway. You will learn that without getting bullied, because, and that's the thing, it's like high school is a formative time in your adolescence, you know? And when you do a project or collab or work on a group thing, like, you will, hey, I don't like this or this and that. Like, you will learn that without someone saying, your hair's ugly or like whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or you're gay or whatever.
Yeah, okay, cool. You're advocating for working through conflict, standing up for yourself, advocating for yourself. I appreciate the spirit behind that, but you don't need to advocate for bullying.
No,
you know what I mean?
insane.
Yeah, you're going to encounter some bad things in your life, and I think it is great to teach people how to have a healthy self-esteem, coping mechanisms, how to advocate and be how to have agency. I'm trying to find the right word, but it's like, fine, but we're not going to advocate for bullying. Let's be clear.
Yeah, like, and bullying is different than just having conflict with someone too. Like, do I think that learning how to work through conflict and maybe meeting some shitty people in your life that you have to deal with helps you grow emotionally? Totally. But there is not an evolutionary value to having some girl be like, you're ugly every day.
Totally.
Like,
no, thanks.
No, and like high schoolers can be mean. They can push boundaries that aren't right. I mean, some of my biggest regrets are times that I was like a bitch in high school to someone where I was like, I didn't know how to... I didn't know how to communicate that I was pissed off without just like being mean.
Sure.
That's a real high school thing. But bullying is like finding someone who is usually of like low status to you for some kind of reason and relentlessly harassing them every day to the point where it ruins their life. Yeah, they're not going to be over that in 4 years.
Yeah, no.
And
I feel like most of therapy is
Rooted
shit
in
that happened like many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is extremely ironic that she's completely dark on all social media.
Yeah,
now.
it's like stand in business, babe. What
Actually,
happened?
actually, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Before going dark on social media, she did come out and say, can you guess?
She's sorry.
That it was a skit.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She said that I was just joking. It was.
Oh my God.
It was like a character. I wasn't trying. She said it was a troll video, basically. So she tried to say it was.
People don't know how to do this.
It's not a skit.
It wasn't
if
a
it's
skit.
real.
Right, no.
It's not a skit if you were just saying your real feelings. And also, I saw this TikTok recently, and I wish I had the creator's name, but it's this guy who was pointing out this idea of shadow talk, which is where, like, you're saying one thing, but the shadow of what you're actually saying is, like, very clearly visible. And this video, to me, is the most shadow talk video ever.
What
where
is the
she's,
thing?
where she's going to come out and say, like, I wasn't mean in high school. I just had, like, resting bitch face. But, like, I wasn't mean unless you were mean to me. But also, if you're still thinking about high school, you should get over it. And it's like...
So the shadow saying that
the shadow is... I was
Right.
mean. I know it. I know exactly what the fuck this person is talking about. I'm annoyed that someone's bringing it up to me now, and I still have the exact same attitude that I used to have.
And you're a loser for even bringing it up.
Yeah, and I'm going to come on here and bully you more and be a fucking bully more. It's crazy.
Just like Anatomy of a Fall, the truth conceals something dirty and meaner.
Wow, I would love to see what's her name?
Sandra.
Justine.
Justine Triet. Right, make a movie.
Do the Liana the mean girl bully.
Well, yeah, and do it
Sandra
in French
Hewler
court.
plays.
Yeah, do it in French court where everyone yells at each other at the same time.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. But
Well,
that's our grass hole of the week.
yeah, Leanna
Well
needs to
deserved.
go touch grass.
Go touch grass.
And maybe get in. Listen, there's a lot of problems with comedy institutions, but at its core, they will teach you how to make a joke. You will learn, and you will be around people, and you will learn the difference. What say you, Lamar? Final thoughts on grass hole?
I say well deserved.
Well deserved grass hole.
Well deserved grass hole.
We haven't met a grass hole that hasn't deserved it.
No.
Lamar, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
That
This
was
is so
another
great.
episode of Go Touch Grass. Lamar, where can we find you? What can people follow you?
You can follow me on all the socials at Dirty King of Pop. Dirty, 2 R's, like Christina Aguilera spells it.
Yeah. Huge Christina fan.
Yes.
And you can follow me at Millie Tamaris, Millie_Tamaris on Instagram and TikTok, and on Twitter at Millie Tamaris, aka Lactose Intolerant. You can follow Elise.
You can follow me at Pandalise on Instagram and Elise Navidad on TikTok. You can also, I am on Threads, but I don't really thread.
No,
I just
Threads,
watch all the dorks talk to each other.
The dorks, it's super dorky. You can follow Go Touch Grass.
And I don't mean that in a bullying way. I think the dorks should have a platform to speak.
We empower
And I love their growth, and God bless them all.
I feel like
But
some people
it is
would
where
say-
dorks go to speak.
Some people say we might be dorks.
I'm maybe a little bit of a dork.
We're not a dork. We're dork rising.
Yeah.
You can follow us on
all platforms.
On all platforms at Go Touch Grass Pod. And we have a really great Patreon episode where I update everyone on all the Keith Lee controversies.
Wow.
Keith Lee versus New York, the salmon chopped cheese fiasco, the Bay Area sad homelessness thing,
Yikes.
and Keith Lee versus Sweetly Seasoned.
Yeah, it's a journey. Keith Lee took a journey, and then we took a journey.
And guess what? Don't speak against Keith Lee because it will come back to bite. You know?
And you can hear about all of that on our Patreon. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. We're on the road to 100 people.
Road to 100.
Road
We need
to
100 reviews.
And until next time,
Go touch grass.
That was a HeadGum podcast.
Hi, I'm Caleb Heron, host of the So True podcast, now on HeadGum. Every week, me and my guests get into it, and we get down to what's really going on. I ask them what's so true to them, how they got to where they are in life, a bunch of other questions, and we also may or may not test their general trivia knowledge, whether it's one of my sworn enemies like Brittany Broski or Drew Afwalo, or my actual biological mother, Kelly. My guests and I are just after the truth, and if we find it, great, and if not, no worries. So subscribe to So True on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, or wherever you get your podcasts, and watch video episodes on the So True with Caleb Heron and YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Thursday. Love ya.